For decades, this was the most feared tank on Earth, a machine built to survive direct hits and destroy anything in its path. But in modern war, it doesn't need to be outgunned. It just needs to be spotted from above. This is the story of the M1 Abrams, a war machine designed to dominate the battlefield, but now facing a threat it was never built to fight. And the reason why isn't failure, it's evolution. When the M1 Abrams entered service, it redefined armored warfare. This wasn't just another upgrade, it was a leap forward. At its core was a gas turbine engine, something more commonly found in aircraft than tanks. It gave the Abrams speed and acceleration that most armored vehicles simply couldn't match. It could reposition faster, react quicker, and exploit weaknesses before the enemy even understood what was happening. But mobility was only part of the equation. The Abrams was built around survivability. Its armor system, layered, advanced, and continuously upgraded, was designed to defeat the most dangerous anti-tank threats of its time. From the front, it was incredibly difficult to penetrate. That design choice wasn't random, because for decades, the battlefield had a clear assumption. The greatest threat to a tank was another tank. And so everything, from armor to targeting, was optimized for that reality. Its 120mm main gun reinforced that dominance. It could engage targets with precision at long range, even while moving. Combined with thermal imaging and advanced fire control systems, the Abrams could see first and fire first. In the world it was built for, that advantage was everything. But no battlefield stays the same. Every advantage eventually creates a counter, and over time, warfare began to change. Not slowly, but rapidly. The large, predictable tank battles the Abrams was designed for became less common. Instead, conflicts became more fragmented, more unpredictable, more asymmetric. Technology spread faster, costs dropped, access expanded, and suddenly smaller, less equipped forces could challenge systems that once seemed untouchable, not by matching them, but by bypassing them. Drones are the clearest example of that shift. At first, they were simple reconnaissance tools. They provided visibility, information without risk. But over time, they evolved. They became smaller, cheaper, and more capable. And eventually they became weapons. Some carry explosives, others guide artillery. Some are designed to loiter, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And unlike traditional weapons, they don't require massive infrastructure. They don't need runways or large crews. They just need a target, and that changes everything. Here's where the problem begins. Tanks like the M1 Abrams are built with a very specific logic. Maximum protection where the threat is expected. Historically, that meant the front. Enemy tanks, anti-tank missiles, direct engagements. So the front is heavily armored. The sides are reinforced, but the top is lighter. Because for decades, there was no serious threat from above, until drones changed that equation. Now a small, relatively inexpensive system can approach from the air, position itself precisely, and strike the most vulnerable point. It doesn't need to penetrate the strongest armor. It just needs to avoid it. This is the turning point most people underestimate. The battlefield is no longer flat. It's no longer just about distance and direction. It's about angles. Verticality introduces a completely new dimension of risk. A tank crew can scan the horizon. They can track movement ahead. But a small drone above them, that's a different kind of threat. Harder to detect, harder to intercept, and often too late to react to. And suddenly a machine built for dominance becomes exposed, not because it failed, but because the rules change. So why not fix it? Why not just reinforce the top armor? Because every engineering decision comes with trade-offs. The Abrams already weighs over 60 tons. Adding more armor increases that weight further, and weight affects everything. Mobility decreases, speed drops, fuel consumption rises, Transportation becomes more difficult. Certain bridges can't support it. Certain terrains become inaccessible. At some point, increasing protection begins to reduce effectiveness. This is the engineering trap. You can't maximize everything at once. Then there's the fuel problem. The gas turbine engine gives the Abrams exceptional performance, but it consumes fuel at a very high rate, which means the tank depends heavily on logistics, fuel trucks, supply convoys, maintenance units. And in modern warfare, those support systems are just as vulnerable as the tank itself. Drones don't just target the front lines, they target the entire network behind it, disrupt the supply chain, and even the most powerful tank becomes ineffective. The Abrams is also highly advanced, but complexity introduces another challenge. Sophisticated systems require maintenance. They require trained personnel, spare parts, and time. In controlled environments, this is manageable. But in active conflict zones, where conditions are unpredictable, simplicity can become an advantage. A system that is easier to maintain can stay operational longer. And in war, uptime matters. Modern conflicts are making one thing clear. Even the most advanced systems are vulnerable, not because they're poorly designed, but because they were designed for a different set of assumptions. The Abrams still excels in the role it was built for, but that role is no longer the only factor that determines success. Now survival depends on integration, coordination, awareness, adaptability. This doesn't mean tanks are obsolete. It means their role is changing. The Abrams was never meant to operate alone. It was part of a larger system, combined arms warfare, infantry to provide protection, air defense to counter aerial threats, reconnaissance to detect danger early. When those elements work together, the tank is still incredibly effective. But without them, it becomes vulnerable, and adaptation is already happening. New systems are being developed to counter drones, active protection systems that can intercept incoming threats, improved sensors that can detect aerial targets earlier, new tactics that emphasize coordination over isolation, because warfare doesn't stand still, and neither can the machines that fight in it. The M1 Abrams wasn't built wrong. It was built for a different war. And in modern war, even the strongest machine can become the easiest target. Because if something like this can be challenged, then nothing on the battlefield is untouchable. And this is just the beginning. If you want to see how warfare is evolving and what comes next, hit subscribe now, because the battlefield is changing faster than ever, and you don't want to be the last to understand it.